just a little bit of an introduction to myself. My name is Moshe David. I'm passionate about the hospitality industry, and I'm passionate about blockchain and NFTs. So I actually gave a talk a year ago at the Food and Drink Expo in London, and I said a lot of the same things that I'm going to be saying today, talking to them about hospitality, in terms of loyalty, how they can utilize NFTs, etc. I'm not going to lie, it went a little bit over their heads, but here a year later, I'm talking to people from the space of NFTs, and I'm hoping bringing those two parts of the ecosystem together. So, in 2018, I had this idea, without realizing it at the time. Essentially, I was trying to decentralize and tokenize aspects of hospitality without realizing that blockchain essentially facilitated that. So I built a mess of a technology platform, an app which allowed people to send each other drinks and redeem in various venues, and we had a swap token, and these were tokens that were falling into people's wallets. And then something happened. Obviously, we went to market. We had a great deal with a few thousand venues. It was looking great. Like I said, it was a mess in terms of technology, and everybody in the middle was, including MasterCard, and everybody was taking their cut. But it worked as a proof of concept. And then COVID came along and shut everybody down. And as you're probably aware, hospitality got hit hardest. I want to say hardest, it's not a competition, but it certainly was amongst the worst that got affected because of COVID, and they were shut down. So during this time, two things happened. One, the government, if you remember, mandated that in hospitality, if you were to be going to a hospitality venue, you would have to do wireless ordering, and you would have to do contactless payment, etc. And we're talking about an industry which you would still pay for your pint at the bar in cash, in pounds and pence, and leave a little bit left over as a tip. And it was suddenly catapulted to develop and sort of to adopt this technology, which was new to them. And all credit where all credit's due, they showed incredible savvy and were able to adapt, and it's still being used today in terms of ordering, and a lot of the QR code ordering and menu ordering that you see today in hospitality venues. But at the same time, there was an influx into the marketplace of technology providers that said, right, well, we want to be the leaders in this space to facilitate the ordering, etc. And then, as a result, it was oversaturated, there was fatigue, venues became fatigued with tech, there's too much, etc. And at the same time that this was happening, there was the NFT boom as we know it. So NFTs were becoming popular, and layer 3 blockchain to facilitate people to be able to drop NFTs, and marketplaces and companies as well that wanted to sort of, utilize it. There were open source. The tech wasn't, over there anymore. You couldn't reach it. It was out of reach. It wasn't. It was very much becoming affordable and able for people to plug into it. So that happened at the same time. And then just one day while I was driving, I was like, holy shit, excuse me. Like everything that I've been trying to build for the past 2 years is actually accommodated by blockchain. And I had been collecting NFTs, and I'd been trading in crypto, and it just never occurred to me that actually what I wanted to do is right here in front of me under my nose. So we pivoted into that. So so I don't have the right deck. So I wanted to show some numbers in terms of hospitality and how big it is globally. And potentially I wanted to show you some numbers, I don't know off the top of my head, with regards to the adoption of technology and the future of how many hospitality venues surveyed have said they want to adopt crypto as a method of payment, over something like 75% in the US. Over the next year want to adopt it, etc. So to zone in specific to the topic that I wanted to talk about, which is of loyalty, still, it happened in the airport actually on the way here. I was flying in from Tel Aviv. I got a coffee at the airport, and they gave me a punch card. And the punch card was like, okay, for the next 10 times you get a free coffee. I was like, mate, I'm in an airport. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is not every day that I'm going to be here. How am I going to, what am I going to do with this piece of card? And this is like a working model for them. I guess a lot of people are flying on a weekly basis, and it works for them. So, again, I wanted to show you the old way and the new way, but in a nutshell, the old way would be it's pay plus, it's easy to get lost, even if it is in a digital Web 2 format, some sort of reward system, gift cards, vouchers, or whatever it might be, is highly restricted in the sense that you can only get it once you've actually had your first purchase. In other words, you need to turn up to a venue, give them your business, and they will say, oh, well, please now come back. Now, where NFTs solves a lot of problems that they didn't know they had, but they're starting to understand in hospitality especially that, you know, new games need to be played to increase footfall. Footfall's a term in the sector for pushing people through the doors and returning customers. So they've started to understand that they need new tricks up their sleeves. So NFTs for loyalty can do a number of things. You can provide it as an incentive before they've even ever set foot into your place. There's a secondary market, so if you've got that ticker card and you've got 9 of them and you know that number 10 opens up, you know, like they give you like a £10 discount or whatever it is, you can then, well, I'm never going to go to that airport again, but I'll resell it because I know someone that does, so that's a nice perk. There's the community that you build around it, and trying to think off the top of my head because I had them all listed here for you. Thank you. It's gamification. So community and loyalty, gamification. You visit us 10 times, we will unlock extra layers. You will unlock an NFT with extra layer of utility, i.e. real life utility, which is a discount or cashback or anything like that. So use cases that are looking into doing this right now. Obviously, you've probably heard of Starbucks by now, who have got this loyalty program. And I'm running out of time. So Starbucks, Blockhost, so I'm not allowed to show my own product, but if it's a marketplace for people to drop utility deals and loyalty deals directly using NFTs and collaboration NFTs onto the marketplace, and then let people basically mint it and then turn up. Again, secondary value and gamification. So the challenges, so obviously in an ideal world, and everyone adopts NFTs for loyalty, and it's great, you've opened up mass adoption because the one industry that cares more about repeat custom and community, we call them community in Web3, but they call them like customers essentially, repeat custom. The one thing that they're looking at doing that is difficult for them to adopt to is point of sale redemption. So they have their existing EPOS systems, they have, which they don't want to be using anything else on top of that. That's a major challenge. So scanning an NFT, well, it's just a picture. So how do I make sure you don't JPEG it and then reuse it? That's a challenge. It's something which Blockhost is successfully overcome, and the more people that are adopting it. And other challenges is the fact that NFTs as a term, the terminology NFTs is a wee bit burnt, I would say. And this is loyalty, and well, they can actually, if you flip it on its head, they can actually, hospitality can actually bring back trustworthiness behind projects that are involved in NFT because, well, it's a brick and mortar business over there. And I've just sat there and I've just had something and they're going to be there next week. So yes, they're using NFTs, but it's not NFTs in the sense of the word that, oh, it's a project I'm never going to see from them again. So again, I apologize, I don't have the deck to be able to run through all the rest of the list, but you can just, I will be on LinkedIn putting up the deck so you can break down all the utility and cool stuff which you can do specifically at point of sale with NFTs and hospitality. Thank you for listening to me and staying late. There is a question. Yeah. Hey. I would. I absolutely would, yeah. I'm personally advising a couple of projects in this space, in hospitality, that are looking to use NFTs. One of them in club memberships. So they have deals with, it's actually in Ireland, so they have a deal with multiple venues that have all agreed to give 20% off to anybody that's an NFT holder. Rather than the actual, rather than the communities belonging to the venues is actually an ecosystem. It's a community that belongs to the club of club holders. So they have various drops, and their aim is to go around various cities. So that's one initiative, which again, if you go onto my LinkedIn, I'm happy to tell you what it is. It's a really, really cool initiative coming out, and another couple of projects in that space. So yeah, so from a Web 2 infrastructure and an idea of just sending someone a pint digitally on his birthday, we are here today because blockchain facilitates it in a way which, you know, wouldn't have done a couple of years ago. Sure. Split it into two. Split it into two. Do A and B. You got Okay, great question. So in a lot of ways, hospitality is no different to other industries, with the exception of that it is fresh and off proving that it is tech savvy and it can adapt to being put in a corner and looking for solutions. Now, I'm a great believer that every different industry is waiting right now for leaders to stand up and create marketplaces specific to that vertical. This industry, this space, okay? Exactly, so if that's in fashion, which is already making huge strides, but if it's in hospitality, that yeah, marketplaces will emerge where people will be able to drop deals the same way as, no, they will be able to drop deals with collaborations with artists, creative people, and they'll drop a deal. A weekend away or romantic thing, whatever it is, and basically using NFT technology, the underlying technology, and that is the redeemable point of sale purchase, and they would save, well, you cut out every one of those wallet to wallet, you've cut all the middle people out, and you've saved huge amounts of fees for, sorry, Chris, what's the name of that? Groupon. Groupon, thank you. So if Groupon's taking 25-30% from a pub to drop a deal, essentially in a business model as a loss leader to get people through the doors, they can actually do exactly the same thing by using NFTs in a marketplace specific to hospitality and, I don't know, wallet to wallet, 2%, whatever the gas price is. And it goes directly to them, obviously. There's no central, Groupon's not centralized in the middle. So, yeah,
that's really great.
I've got to wrap it up. Thank you for your questions.
Over. Do you guys have any more questions for him, for Moshe over here? You can have a conversation over there. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Moshe David,
right there.